Hello, I'm Pastor Mark, and this is Community Church Conversations. I'm interim pastor at the Community Church here in Glen Rock. If I remember right, I think this is Conversation 24, and we just keep getting better and better. I'm talking here with Nick, who you ought to hear him play the piano. And he had the bad luck of being next to me in the bell choir back at Christmas time, and I didn't throw you off, did I?
No, no, no,
I
you're all
I'm
good.
glad. Here's the good news was my bells followed his. He didn't follow me because I would have screwed them all up. I never did quite get that. But how long have you been in music?
Um, I want to say my whole life, my parents and grandparents were always, listening to music, had music on. It was always a big part of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking piano lessons when I was 10,
That's
in the fifth
great.
grade. So, and I did that all throughout high school.
Mm-hmm.
Sang in the choir in high school as well. So I a really full rounded, musical upbringing. And I don't play piano as much. Like you might think I practice every day, but I really don't.
Well, I've heard
Um,
you play.
I play, yes.
It sounds like you practice every
I know.
day.
I wish I had the time to practice and play every
Uh-huh.
day, but I when I can, I'll sit down and practice and learn a couple
Mm-hmm.
new songs just to keep the skills up. But it's fun getting to play at church, when Janet's out of town.
Yes.
Um, it's good. And
Hey,
it,
I enjoy hearing you play. You're amazing. Wow. Oof. Incredible. So you've been playing piano and you're hearing and exposing to music your whole life. Anyone else in your family play instruments?
yeah. So my sister also plays the piano. She started taking lessons the same time as me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another brother who plays the guitar and a little bit of piano here and there. But we all were in like the elementary school band. We all played like those little instruments just like for a couple of years when we were,
Yeah, the little
um,
recorders.
recorders and like, basic saxophone and trumpet and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, and then like we're a musical family. Like we all sing. We were all part of the choir growing up in high school. So
That's
yeah,
great.
definitely a musical family.
Well, where did you grow up?
Grew up here in Glen Rock.
Oh, you're a Glen Rock native.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And did you grow up here in this church?
Not in this church. We actually grew up in the Catholic Church, St. Catherine's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you were in the choir there, I assume?
We were in. So my sister actually started the teen choir as her Girl Scout Gold Award project.
Oh,
So we
wow.
had a teen choir there for about a year or two, and then we sang with the adult choir as well.
Oh, that's great.
At the end of high school. Yeah.
Oh, there is nothing like the old Latin version of Ave
That's
Maria.
right.
I love it.
Hmm.
Even though I was a dirty Protestant, I went to a Catholic high school, so I got a little exposure
Yeah.
to this. Yes. And how did you come then? If you grew up Catholic, how did you wind up playing and singing and ringing bells for us here?
Yeah. So I guess I'm not going to take everybody through the wild history of my life, but everybody knows that
The wild? I
the
didn't know
wild
you had
history.
a
Well,
wild
it's
part.
there's
Okay.
there's a lot going on.
Okay.
Everybody knows Melanie. She sings here all the time, so she's my
Mhm.
fiance. So we met in high school, and she went to music school and did her thing. And
Mhm.
every once in a while, she would come here and sing while she was home on break. And then during the pandemic, Janet had asked her to sing more frequently here for the
Mhm.
live streams. And then once we all started coming back to church and got the choir going again and the handbells, I kind of got
Mhm.
inserted into that mix because Janet was looking for male voices because we didn't have too many, and
Sure.
I can at least carry a tune. I wouldn't say I'm the best singer in the world, but I can carry a tune. So since then, we've been just attending church and doing choir and handbells and all that fun
You
stuff.
do know what the notes are supposed to sound like.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Some of us, no, no. So, no, they're not going to ever put me in a choir. No, no. Janet took a risk when she put me in the
The
bell
handbells.
choir, but that was fun.
It was fun.
I had a good time doing
Mhm.
that. So, that doesn't support playing piano here and doing the singing here. What do you do for a day job?
I work at Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck. I work in the HR department, so I'm the manager of Total Rewards. Total Rewards is that fancy little buzz term for compensation and benefits. So I basically manage the entire pay program and benefits program for the hospital.
Why don't they call it compensation packets? What do they call what's the thing?
Total rewards.
What do they call it that? It's called
It's one of those,
compensation.
yeah, it's one of those weird like buzzwords that's come up over the past few years.
Mhm.
Because compensation and benefits wasn't good enough, so we had to say total rewards.
That sounds sweet.
Yeah.
Come to Holy Name and get your total rewards.
Hmm.
I kind of like that actually.
It works.
It's why a marketer came up with
Yeah.
that term.
Yeah.
That's got to be difficult though. Being in HR, there are times you've got to fire people.
Hmm.
What's that like? What's that feel like?
It's it's a little bit of mixed emotions. I think on one side, you feel bad for the employee that's being fired, but on the other hand, there's a reason they're being fired, and at heart, we need to make sure that the organization is running as smoothly and effectively
Mhm.
as possible. So it's a little bit of both. You feel bad, but you also know that ultimately the organization will be better for that move. It's just you have to sort of separate your emotions from what you're actually doing.
Man, it's not easy though,
Yeah.
is it?
No, it's not.
No, it isn't. So there's got to be a continuum of, okay, what kind of infraction would get you fired like instantly or sooner?
Yeah, there's definitely certain things where we'll give you a little leeway. Maybe we write you up, we give you a warning, and then there's
Mhm.
other things that automatic termination. So, um, anything relating to, I mean, we've had things where people steal stuff,
Mm.
they, access other people's medical records when they shouldn't. Like
Oh,
there's things like that
yeah.
that's an immediate offense, and then there's other things where the person's just maybe not performing so well, they just need a little bit of a discipline to sort of get them back on track. But
Mm.
if they don't follow through, it's a slower process. But
Sure.
some of the more egregious things, yeah, we don't.
There are people who go into other folks' medical records.
Hmm.
Really?
Yep,
That's sick.
it is.
What a HIPAA
I know.
violation. Oh, that's incredible.
Hmm.
Or what do you do, for example, someone just doesn't get their work done for whatever reason?
Yeah, I mean, I think most cases we would probably start progressive discipline. So you probably give them a written warning, have a conversation with the employee. I mean, as the manager, not HR. HR is not really involved with that too much, but
Hmm.
you sit the employee down, you tell them you're not meeting expectations. Here's what I need from you. You evaluate in 30, 60, 90 days. If it doesn't get better, we move to, a final warning and then ultimately a final disciplinary action of termination. So,
Wow.
yeah.
It reminds me of a story I heard when I lived up in Albany. One of the Albany hospitals, they noticed that people who were working overnight, it was supposed to be inputting data. All of a sudden, the data just really slowed down how much it input. And so IT people put software in every one of those computers to see what was going on. And they found a bunch of people were getting paid to play solitaire all night on their computers. So they called them all in and said, look, we know who's doing this. We know the computer. We got this software. It stops now. No more solitaire. Fine. The next day, they looked at their data. Two people played solitaire for 8 hours.
Hmm.
Now, how dumb can you be?
Yeah. I don't know. That's
How dumb? They got a warning.
hmm.
They know they were getting surveilled, and they did it anyway. Can't fix stupid, huh?
No, unfortunately.
That you cannot. Oh, hey, you made a big announcement in church a few months ago. You got engaged, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us about who you're getting engaged to or who you did get engaged to.
So that's Melanie Loda. She's one of the resident singers here at church.
Hmm.
We've been dating for 10 years now, going all the way back to high school.
10 years.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
it is.
Wow.
So worked our way through the end of high school, college, the pandemic, all that stuff. And
Hmm.
yeah, here we are.
Wow. So, when are you planning your marriage?
We will be getting married June 20th, 2026. So about a year and a
You guys don't move fast, do you?
half.
I mean, there's a long time waiting.
It is.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Wow, and where you gonna set up house here in Glen Rock?
We're currently in Hawthorne, in an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll stay there for now. Um, don't know where we'll end up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Interest rates are through the roof right now, so
Yeah, they are.
buying a house is definitely it's the goal, but it seems a little
And
unrealistic.
prices in
I
Glen
know.
Rock are
Yeah, Glen Rock
wild.
is yeah, it's
If
a lot.
if I didn't have a parsonage, there's no way I'd be
Yeah,
living in Glen Rock.
crazy.
That's just not happening. Unless, I inherit a small fortune from some relative I don't have, but whatever. Well, what are your personal goals in the next few years, your professional goals, and what are your hopes and dreams for the church here the next few
Yeah,
years?
I think, personal goals, I think for me are always, they're a little tough, but I think, mostly, I think just always striving to like improve, continually improve myself, whether it's
Mhm.
through something I'm doing here at church, in the gym, at work, picking up a new hobby, getting better at my golf game, anything I can incrementally do to better myself.
Tell me about golf. I'll tell you that story some other time. Hey.
Yeah. And then professionally, I think, I don't hate to sound like that person, but just to keep climbing the corporate ladder. And I've
Mhm.
been very fortunate in my time at Holy Name to receive a few promotions, and there's a good track for me there.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for what the future holds, and just hopefully to continue to make strides there. And then
Well, what
for
would you like? Hang on. What would you like to do there? Be president of the
no,
hospital
I
or
don't
what?
I don't want that job.
Okay.
But for me, after the manager step comes, director of total rewards, and that comes with a little more responsibility. Um, I've talked to my boss as the VP of HR, and he's very um adamant that, by the time he retires in 5 years, he's gonna have us set up for success. Because before he got to our department, we were kind of a mess. We didn't have a real leader. There's a whole backstory there. But so he's already sort of laid out the plan for me, the career path, if you will. So for
Mhm.
me, just moving up that one level to being the director of total rewards would be the next step for me,
Mhm. Okay.
in that journey. So that's hopefully something in the next 5 years, that I'm working towards. Um, and then for the church, I think I'd like to see, continued growth. I think we've done a pretty good job so far, since you took over.
Mm, you're too kind.
I No, I feel like there's more people in the church. I think the community outreach has been really, really good, really solid. I know we have a lot of work to go, but
Yeah, we do.
I think we're moving in the right direction, and it's
Mhm.
encouraging to see.
Yeah, thank you. But I'll tell you what inspires me here. The gorgeous music I
Oh,
hear.
it's beautiful.
Since college, I don't think I've heard this good
Yeah.
music. And we had a really good music program at Hope College.
When Melanie started singing here, I, I when I would come and just sit in the audience, I always remarked to her how different the music was, but not different in a bad way. Because
Hmm.
me growing up in the Catholic Church, you hear the same songs every week. There's not a lot of they kind of do all the same stuff, and it just gets to be so like routine and monotonous.
Hmm.
So like coming here, like the music program that Janet, puts together is really incredible. The selections that she does, and just the amount of time and effort that she puts into it. And then when we have like the groups, like the handbells and the choir, like it's some of the pieces that she selects are really fun.
Hmm.
And it brings back that sense of like being able to make music with people, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And you don't get that so much maybe at the Catholic Church. So it's definitely different, but it's fun.
Oh, but you guys have some wonderful pieces. Come
We
on.
do. We do.
Hannes
That's
Angelicus.
a good
I adore that
one.
piece. Now I'm going to date myself. You probably don't remember this. In the mid 90s, there was a movie about Joan of Arc. Okay. It was a great movie called Joan of Arc. And they had this battle scene, the Battle of Orleans, and the arrows are flying and people are dying and the mud splashing and horses are toppling over. And underneath it is Charlotte Church singing Panis
Mm.
Angelicus. And it was such a juxtaposition. Huh? Can't put that piece in there, but it worked.
Wow.
It was just amazing. I love that piece. I truly, truly do. So, yes, don't minimize Catholic music,
No,
please.
no. It's just different, but
Of course
good
it's
different.
different. But come on, you guys have some other great stuff like Here I Am, Lord. That was Jesuit written.
Yeah,
That's great
it
stuff.
is. It is.
But I know what you mean. Our music is special here. And Janet is an utter gem.
Mhm.
Oh, she is a jewel.
Yeah.
She really is. Well, I think we're about wrapping up this version of Community Church Conversations. I appreciate Nick's music and I appreciate this conversation with him. Do you have any final words of wisdom or blessing to grant to all your new viewers?
Not really. I think
You don't.
just keep watching and hope to see you on Sundays at church.
Keep coming to Sundays at church because you're not going to find better music, I don't think, anywhere. Well, maybe over in England at, Westminster Abbey, but that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. And God bless you, folks. Pastor Mark from Community Church, Glen Rock, New Jersey.